Hey everybody, it's Mandy Ray, and I'm here to give you the weekly Ecstatic Astrology update. Today is Monday, September 13th, and the moon is in Sagittarius. It happens to be the first quarter square moon, which is the first adjustment from the new moon phase that we started September 6th. And that new moon was about wanting to get it right. And really wanting to shift our reality according to maybe some new values that we've realized that we have. So this moon in Sagittarius is asking us, okay, then if that's the case, do your beliefs need to change? What do you believe about reality? And it is a bit of a tense adjustment. It's also squaring Neptune, which is opposed the moon. This is called a T-square. And I do believe may be a little confusing, may feel a little overwhelming today, and maybe a little like, I just want to let go and escape. I cannot even think about it. I can't even work today. It's really too hard. That's the nature of today. Mars is at the last degree of Virgo as well. It's known as the anaretic degree, which is the degree of crisis. Woo, no pressure, right? Mars at the 29th degree of Virgo is really just saying, after all of the discerning, the digging that you did, the focusing, the getting to the details, figuring out how to make it work, now we have to take action on it. And so that can be a little overwhelming as well, especially with the sun opposing Neptune and the moon Sagittarius squared all. It's just like, this is a whole lot to deal with. And so, Monday and Tuesday may be filled with anxiety with Mars transiting that last degree of Virgo. And so just be aware of that. Realize that it's brief and it's meant to give you information in your psyche. What is the thing I'm supposed to gain from this anxious feeling or from this feeling of being out of control? There could be several ways this manifests itself. So, my thoughts are with you for that. And this whole week is a little intense. I'm going to say that. The weekend feels a little easier, but it's really the first part of this week that I'm finding to be a little bit full of transformation, change. And that really starts. So Tuesday, we wake up with, if you wake up early, I should say, because this happens early morning, Eastern and Central time, and really early if you're in Pacific time, and the rest of the world, check your times. It's the moon square Mars. So the moon's at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, which is like, this is what I believe. This is what I know. This is what's comforting to me in terms of how I view reality. Mars at the 29th degree of Virgo is like, but we've researched and we've figured this out, and it's not going to work. You cannot just, let a pack of horses pull you off into the distance. We have to do this work. We have to affect this change. And so it's brief, but it's worth noting that that's how we wake up. And then the moon moves into Capricorn on Tuesday morning, like around 7 a.m. And these are approximate times, by the way. So the moon in Capricorn is like, okay, well, I have to start climbing the mountain. I have to begin to figure out how I'm going to approach this. It's cardinal earth. I'm going to take action, and this is how I'm going to do it. So that, it doesn't seem too tense on Tuesday, except for the fact that Mars is still at the 29th degree of Virgo. The moon in Capricorn may be a little nicer because it's able to ground us and maybe, okay, I can get a hold of how to do this. So it's not so much a feeling of being out of control. It's more of an actionable way of approaching it. Then, let's see here. That's most of Tuesday. And then we've got Mercury moving into Libra Tuesday night. So this is really going to kick off the need to communicate in our relationships, maybe some action in the way we keep the peace, in the way we cooperate. Mars does not really feel great in Libra because its home is Aries, which is the opposite sign, which is I want to do my thing. I'm the god of war, and I'm going to go off and make war, and I'm going to, be myself. Mars in Libra is like, I have to check with everyone else first. We have to be a warrior for peace with Mars and Libra. So it's good for action in relationship. It's good for passion in relationship, but it could also make the boat a little rocky in relationship and bring it under the magnifying glass. And there's several reasons for that I will describe. The other thing is Venus is in Scorpio, which is Mars's home sign. And Libra is Venus's home sign. So they're in each other's homes. This is called mutual reception. Venus and Scorpio is digging deep. It wants to merge with people. It wants to share itself and really balance things out, but in terms of power and passion and desires. It wants to get its desires met. Mars and Libra is like, okay, but how do we also keep the peace while we're doing that? So I do think it could, it depends on the relationship you're talking about, romantic, friendship, business partnership, whatever. It could be good for some relationships, and for others, it can bring about the change necessary needed to leave the relationship. So we can see how relationships get tricky around this time when Mars moves into Libra. The other thing is on Tuesday, well, I think that's the biggest Tuesday night thing. Wednesday morning, we have the moon trine Uranus, which is brief, but it can be like an emotional awareness of where we're changing in our lives, where our values are shifting, and how we might need to structure things differently. It's, again, very brief. What else on Wednesday? And then the moon applies to Pluto and squares Mercury. So let's talk about that a little bit. So Wednesday, the dominating energy is that Mars has moved into Libra. The moon is in Capricorn, which is square to Libra. So we have to think about, okay, we've got these basically rules of the game that we have to abide by. But Mars is like, well, we also have to keep the peace here. And Mercury's in Libra as well, which really wants balance. It wants peace. It wants love, compassion, all the good things. But it begins to get a little stressful Wednesday because the moon starts to apply to Pluto, which is power, authority. We want to be in our own authority. Who do we want to have power over us? And then we go, is it our relationship? Is that what's holding me back? Because it squares Mercury in Libra, and that is toward the evening Wednesday. Yeah, around dinner time, 5-ish. So I would look around that if there's any brief moment of yin at people or feeling the need to like take control. That's going to be this transit Wednesday evening. You may avoid, getting into any arguments or something like that. It's also sextile Neptune, which is just it's again very brief. So dreams could be informative Wednesday night. And then actually the moon conjoining Pluto happens overnight. Kind of thank goodness for that. Although it could be argued that the buildup is what's intense. So I would expect for power, imbalances, authority, rules, all to be a theme Wednesday night. And then there's something else that's happening, and that actually gets more active Thursday, but it starts Wednesday, and that is Venus is moving very close to being square Saturn. So Wednesday night, we pick up on that energy. Wednesday morning, the moon moves into Aquarius just after like 10:30, around that time in the morning. And Venus is square to the moon with Saturn square. So Thursday is the obstacle. Thursday is the day we feel like we run into a wall. Venus is trying really hard to balance out any power imbalances. It's really trying hard to say, this is what I want, this is what I need, and I need to have it. Like there are no options to negotiate. But Saturn in Aquarius is like, but that's not the rules. These are the rules. And it's we hit a wall. Okay. So it could be our future plans. That could be the wall. And like, you say, well, I can't break up with this person. We've got a trip planned. that's obviously like just a random example, but that's the way this manifests. Saturn in Aquarius is like, this is how we're building our future. These are our goals. This is what we're doing. And this is the work that needs to be done to do that. Also indicative of any changes in your community at large. So large groups of people is an Aquarian thing. So how we operate in society. Well, Venus comes in and is like trying to take its power back, and it runs into that wall Thursday, the 16th. So be aware of that. Again, night of the 15th into the 16th, and then even into the 17th, this is pretty active. And it's saying, okay, maybe we need to either take a look at what this idea is of power and where we're fighting for it. Maybe Saturn in Aquarius is saying, take a look at your future. Maybe you don't need that specific relationship. Maybe fighting for a power balance and it is futile. Or maybe it just needs to be more work that you need to do. But I would look at that as a little bit frustrating. I think that's just the way Thursday and Friday is going to be, a little frustrating. So I'm trying to look and see when it's exact. Venus square Saturn is exact just as the moon hits Saturn. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be palpably felt because the moon is there as well. The moon's hanging out with Saturn. We're feeling into our future. We're feeling into innovating our structures, innovating the stuff to support it. So Venus in Scorpio is like, I cannot get my desires met immediately. There's still more work to do. Friday morning, that's starting to separate already. Thank goodness, but the moon's still in Aquarius, so I think that lingers a little bit Friday morning. And then Friday evening time, the moon is applying to Jupiter. And then I think we really start to get clear on our truth. And we need that. After that obstacle, we're going to have to do a little soul searching. And that's what Friday evening is. The moon applying to Jupiter, which is expansiveness, really feeling into those goals that we have. And then we're going to go, okay, maybe we can let go of something here with respect to where Venus is. This probably does have implications for money, friendships, relationships, romantic, just friendly, even business partnerships. Scorpio rules that as well. It rules how we share ourselves with others. And it's like Friday, okay, we ran into that obstacle. We realize we cannot keep moving forward to the future that we're dreaming of, operating in this specific partnership the way we are. Something has to give. And Friday night, we do soul searching on what that is. What we believe about reality, what we believe about how we interact with people, what we believe about our future. That's where the moon is pointing us. Mercury is also Friday evening coming closer to a trine with Jupiter. So I think we start to get some real clarity. So let's just say Wednesday, Thursday is the frustrating part, maybe even starting today because of that first quarter square, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday evening is when the clarity comes. And that's because it's on the heels of the frustration. It's on the heels of the obstacle that we do the soul searching. We really dive deep into what we believe and, figure it out. So I would expect Friday night to be a little easier, especially after the moon squares Uranus. I mean, that's what time is that? That's noon. So yeah, Friday afternoon, as the moon starts to apply to Jupiter and trines Mercury, into Friday evening, we begin to feel into what we believe about where we're going. And I think that's really nice. We get some clarity on how to bring balance to it, what needs to change. The sun has trined Pluto already, which really gives us some clarity. And we're separating from that. So then we move into Saturday. Saturday morning, the moon's at the late degrees of Aquarius. It's already conjoined Jupiter. It feels expansive. I love it. I'm glad for Saturday morning, feeling good. And then the moon moves into Pisces and things get magical. So the weekend is really nice energy. That's what I'm calling it. There is one little hiccup, and I'll talk about that. But first, let's talk about the moon in Pisces, because this is full moon territory. There's a full moon Monday in Pisces at the very late degrees of Pisces. This full moon is helping us to surrender to what life wants, what energy wants, what universe wants, what God wants, whatever you want to call it. It is surrendering to the synchronicity. That's what the full moon is about. Saturday, we get that when the moon moves into Pisces. We start to feel into that. And I think that because Pisces is traditionally ruled by Jupiter, this Friday night feeling expansive just continues on. It's ruled by the Jupiter in Aquarius, and we get to dream big about our future. And that's really what this full moon is going to feel like. So all weekend really holds that tone. And what's really great about it is, to begin with, when the moon hits Pisces, it's already applying to a trine with Venus. And we see, okay, we feel like Venus is showing us something about where we need to take our power back, about what our true desires are, about really deep, deep things in our soul. And we emotionally feel into that Saturday. And let's see, into Sunday, maybe? Yeah, that applies all day. Saturday is applying to that trine with Venus. And Sunday morning, it's exact when we wake up. So Sunday morning looks really sweet and nice. I'm really excited about that. The thing about Pisces energy, though, is that it is very tricky, because it can be magical, but can also be a little confusing, a little delusional sometimes. So, escapism could be a big thing with the moon in Pisces. So don't overdo it on the escapism, especially when it regards your health. So we're talking drugs, drinking, anything that could harm you and your body physically. I would watch that this weekend. The escapism that's healthy is what you want to be doing. You want to be trying to draw on that inspiration, draw on the muses, really dream about your future. This is a synchronistic moon phase. So anything that kind of goes, oh, aha, I saw that word 3 times today, once on a truck, once on a sign. That's what you want to be paying attention to this Sunday. But really, inspiration is a big deal. So as we get there Sunday, Mercury is coming into that trine with Jupiter. We're really going to be like firing on all cylinders. So I'm thinking that maybe the delusion, if it's there, could come through relationships. But that's exactly where Mercury is going to go retrograde, is in Libra. So I would pay attention to what goes on Sunday and Monday. And then at the end of next week is when Mercury goes retrograde. We may have to rethink it. So don't commit too heavily this weekend to anything in the future, especially in regards to dates, relationships, plans, because that could change when Mercury goes retrograde. What I would do is dream big. Think of the possibilities. Give yourself several different things to think into, to think of, to dream into, and feel yourself into the future for this full moon. It's a great place to create from if you're an artist of any sort. Even if you're not, if everyone's creative in whatever you do. And that's what this full moon is. It's a very inspirational, very seeing into things you may not, but being able to reach up and grab that inspiration from the muses. And that is active Sunday into Monday. Actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So the main thing that I will say about Sunday is the escapist energy is building. So just be aware of that. The delusion is building, and people can deceive easily under Pisces energy. So have on your thinking cap. And I think that's going to be easy to tune into with Mercury trine Jupiter. Just always this weekend, keep future you in mind. Future you, future you. What does future you look like? I will go ahead and say that overnight the moon's applying to conjunction with Neptune. So yeah, things feel really magical, really inspirational. Monday, we wake up with that moon Neptune conjunction. It may feel a little sleepy. Dreams are going to be off the chain Sunday, maybe Saturday too. But once that moon moves into Pisces, it's going to be great. I love it. Now let's talk about Monday. I'm going to come back and do a full moon video, but I want to go ahead and give you a preview of Monday, because it is full moon time. It's the evening is the full moon, but it is, I think, going to have a lot of the word surrender involved. And I say that word, people just go, I don't want to surrender anymore. But imagine surrendering to good things. You know, someone's going to tie you down and force you to enjoy a massage. Are you really upset about it? That's the kind of surrender I'm talking about here. So please don't imagine surrendering to hardship. What we're talking about is surrendering to the universe and trusting it. It's a trust fall. That's what this full moon is. I trust you. I know I'm doing what I need to do to make my life as good as it can be. So Monday's full moon is full of that. We also start applying to Venus opposing Uranus. Now that's not exact until later next week, but it's already active at this full moon. I'm going to give that a big orb. I think that we can start seeing shifty things happen beginning at this full moon. Venus opposing Uranus is about us really breaking free and seeing maybe some desires that we have pushed down that we don't want to look at. They're coming up and they're going to come to the surface. Uranus is notorious for unexpected events. And I think this full moon in Pisces is going to draw on that unexpected energy in a good way. So be looking for opportunities, be open to them this weekend. It's really coming. It's coming. And then next week, we've got Venus opposing Uranus in the equinox to look at. We've got Mercury retrograde. We got Mars in Libra. We got a lot of stuff happening next week. So enjoy this weekend. This week building up is clarity. We're seeing the obstacle. We're seeing where we need to make some changes. We're seeing where we may need to communicate better. We're seeing power imbalances. Yes, all of that's true. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we also see into possibility, and we see into the messages from spirit, and we really feel into what's possible. And remember that, because the possibilities are there. Yes, we may hit a wall this week, but the possibilities are right around the corner. And Mercury retrograde is going to be an opportunity to change our perspective. That's next week. All right, you guys, I'll be back probably Thursday with a full moon in Pisces video where I'll get a little clearer on what it means for you and how it ties into the whole cycle. And we'll talk about it then. So always hit me up if you need a session. I think I'm pretty full this week. Next week, I'm open. Holler at me. I'm always available. I would love to work with you. And don't forget, if budget's a problem, I do have sliding scale options. All right, you guys, I look forward to connecting with you. I will see you on the flip side.